Hi everyone, it's Raina. So this video is if you have your sun in Virgo and your moon in Libra. Somebody requested this and I happen to know a person personally who has this combination, and I really think this is a sweetheart of a combination because what you're dealing with are two signs that are quite considerate. Virgo and Libra, and they happen to be adjacent signs. So they can with Virgo being the sun sign, you might also have inner planets in in Libra, and that will enhance things. But the moon can be any sign, but Mercury, Venus, and Mars are going to be limited to certain signs. And Libra is one of the ones since it's right there. So anyway, the sun sign is what we strive to become. That's why I always say it's aspirational. And how that plays out is it can reflect the type of career we go into. And by career, basically what I'm talking about is all of your interests. It doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily align perfectly with what your sun sign is and what you're doing for a living necessarily. There are many factors that can influence that, but your interests for sure, and more times than not, you will gravitate towards some kind of profession or job that reflects that. So with Virgo, which is a mutable earth sign, the house that Virgo rules is the sixth house of health and service to others. Virgo, and also your daily routine, which has this aspect of organization attached to it. And so Virgo people tend to be really good at organizing. And so, I mean, when I think of like your own kind of jobs that you can do, you might be one of those professional organizers who goes in and is able to renovate those closets or whatever they do. I don't know what they do, but stuff like that. But Virgo is the original secretary, and now we call secretaries, what are they called? Office managers. I think that's what they're called now. And I don't even know if they really have office managers or secretaries these days because of maybe computers takes away the need for that. But Virgo is a great person to have to deal with the minutia or the details. And they're very detail oriented. I'm saying they when I should be saying you are very detail oriented. And so you tend to be very good at cleaning up other people's messes. Even in terms of manuscripts, being like an editor, a proofreader, you can always spot those flaws. But because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, teaching and the media, I think Mercury is connected to media because Mercury also rules Gemini, and the third house is Gemini's domain, and that can be journalism, the media, news, social media, things like that. So that might be what you're into as well. Any kind of communication or writing, especially writing of a more technical or, nonfiction type of writing, how to, where you have to have more practical application and details. That's the kind of thing that you tend to gravitate towards when it comes to writing. Although I'm trying to remember if William Faulkner is no, he's not alive now. was a Virgo. It was either a Virgo or a Libra. I can't remember. But anyway, so the no-brainer too is the healthcare field, because Virgo rules that area, the sixth house. However, I always associate Virgo with the herbalist. I don't know. I think I've read that before, and also the vegetarian. So it's like kind of those alternative medicine, alternative diets type of things. That's how I associate it. Natural, like, crunchy granola types of diets and lifestyles. Okay, purity is associated with Virgo. So you might be more in tune with alternative healing, although certainly some people may start in the conventional allopathic medicine. Who knows? Maybe you become a homeopath. I don't know. Stuff like that. Okay, so I'm just thinking of possible careers. But the moon, we're going to talk about the moon. The moon is in Libra. Libra is a cardinal air sign, okay? Libra is masculine, strangely enough, even though it's ruled by Venus, and Virgo is a feminine sign. So you have the combination of the feminine and the masculine. This is just this has nothing to do with appearance or, what kind of a person you're attracted to. This is simply how the energy is expressed. So with the moon being in Libra and being in this extroverted element, even though you're a Virgo, and Virgos tend to be kind of like, I think I said this once, and I said wallflowers, and I just it was like poking a hornet's nest, and I got all this, all these people. I'm not a wallflower. I said something like they're a shrinking violet, and I said it because I think it's true. I have the moon in Virgo. Virgo is very nondescript. Virgo is not very confident because Virgo is very critical. Virgo is a perfectionist. And so Virgo's equal opportunity. They may do it to other people, and they may be very critical of other people, but they're doing it to themselves as well. So you're looking at somebody who has the moon in Libra. And I do have a separate moon in Libra video, so do check that out on my channel. Just type it into my search box and you'll find it, because that is very important in its own right. And one of the things that can happen, because I'm always interpreting the moon in a more shadowy sense, so more of the challenging traits of that sign I assign to the moon position. And in this case, like, let's say a woman, it could be a woman who has emotional issues about her looks. And coupled with the sun in Virgo, you could have many different things play out where the person, I would even look at the rising sign too, because that can give you more information about how the person looks and stuff like that. But the worst case scenario would be something like body dysmorphia, which can lead to an eating disorder because of the perfectionism of Virgo, coupled with that neurotic need for beauty of the moon and that insecurity that the person may have, that they're not pretty enough. The woman. Is it true for the man? I don't know, because remember that it's also our society and what is being conditioned. And if men are not expected to be attractive as much as women are, then that's one less thing that they have to worry about. And that's not saying, that, that's not to bash men at all. It's just saying what can be different about the genders with this. So that could be one possibility, because usually Virgo women, of course, they can be attractive, but they tend, and actually when I'm saying this, I'm really talking about the rising sign, but sometimes the sun sign, especially as you get older, you can really, and the moon sign, it can really be influential in how the person looks. And with Virgo, there can be wearing glasses, male and female, just the kind of the cerebral look. Although I have seen, I mentioned this in another video, women who are voluptuous, who are Virgos, with hourglass figures and stuff like that. Raquel Welch, I mentioned Sophia Loren. That's from a different generation. I can't think of anybody on the younger side, but in general, I think of the Virgo woman, if you're just talking about the type of body that they have, they might tend to be thin and kind of boyish in their body shape, but that's not going to be true across the board. And who knows? I mean, maybe Raquel Welch has Taurus rising or something. I have no idea. Okay, so basically what I would say about relationships and this combination is, well, the person I know has been married for decades and raised a family, so that can easily happen. And the reason, in the Tarot, Virgo is connected to the Hermit, and the Hermit obviously is alone. But because the moon is in Libra, and like I said, you could have personal planets in Libra, this may make the person much more craving couplehood. What is it called? Coupledom? No, being a couple with somebody, And this can be slightly awkward depending on how savvy the Virgo person is. They might be a little bit shy. They might be a little bit, I was going to say reticent, but that's kind of like being shy. They're not the most confident people. Or you're not the most confident of people. So it's not necessarily easy for you to go up to somebody, approach them, flirt with them. That's not really your style. So who knows? Maybe you meet this person in college or at a lecture or someplace where the intellect is going, because the moon in Libra is an air sign and is known for intelligence, known for good communication skills. So you have this combination where you could be very good at that. Maybe it's a poetry reading. You may have artistic interests, and they may be even of a literary nature given your sun sign. So the bottom line is that you do have a more romantic side than the typical Libra person, because the typical Libra person isn't necessarily all that romantic. Did I say Libra? I meant Virgo. I hope I said Virgo. Virgo, and if you have Venus in Virgo, I may have read this somewhere, but I just think this is hilarious. A gift a Venus and Virgo person would give their spouse might be a new vacuum cleaner. And they might be thinking to themselves, this is going to make their life so much easier. But the other person, let's say it's a Leo person, they're like, are you kidding me? This is your idea of an anniversary gift as a vacuum cleaner? Like, what are you trying to tell me here? But that's how Virgos think. They think about, how can I be more productive? How can this other person, I want to help them I want to help them in their life in some way, in a very tangible way. So you don't think giving somebody a diamond ring is really that useful. But it depends, because with the moon in Libra, there might be a tendency to have more of a, kind of like a generous nature. Virgo isn't really much of a spendthrift. It's more actually liking, minimalism or simplifying life. But Libra likes to live large. So that might be the kicker, especially if you have Venus in Libra or Mars in Libra, something like that. Or on the other side, Leo, forget about it. Leo is also very, big on spending and luxuries and stuff like that. So, there may be insecurities here where you feel like you need a partner. When the moon is in Libra, it's kind of like when the moon is in the seventh house. There can be this emotional dependency or codependency. The person is emotionally attached to having a relationship. So when we talk about serial monogamy, that is so moon in Libra, even sun in Libra, come to think of it, but definitely moon in Libra, because there is an emotional component to it where the person, when they're single, they may feel a little bit funny. It might be mitigated a bit by having the sun in Virgo, because that's not a sign that is necessarily in need of this big emotional or romantic relationship. But it can still be very strong, given that the moon, that it's the moon that's in Libra. I think that as I started this reading, because I've paused it a few times to do other things, I was talking about it being a sweetheart of a combination, and there's just such a sense of wanting to be polite. That might be a big thing with you, this idea of, have manners, say thank you. And you are like that, and you expect other people to be like that, and you might be very offended if someone is, not polite. I know, having the moon in Virgo, I get like, it just bothers me when people don't say thank you. I'm not even talking about just to me, but to other people. When I see them and not saying thank you to the cashier, being handed things and they just like take them and walk away. Oh, I get so, it just really bothers me. That's the Virgo, the peevishness, the persnickety quality, But this is, that kind of evens out a little bit. With the moon in Libra, the person can have more elan, as they call it, or social graces and that kind of thing. A little bit more class. So anyway, I think I'll leave it there. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a personal reading, you can click on the link below. I have double readings that are 2 hours in length at least altogether, and it's an hour of natal chart interpretation with an hour of transits, called the deep dive reading. That's the kind of reading I've been doing lately for combo readings, instead of my old type that was like, an hour total with both of those. It just doesn't cut it anymore now that I've done these extended readings. But I have other types of readings. You can check it out at the link below. I'm at rainamoonastrology.com. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.